Early morning calm, the house is quiet. A soft morning light spills in through gauzy curtains. A teapot whistles gently in the kitchen. In the bedroom, a woman around 72 years old sits on the edge of her bed. She holds her slippers in one hand, and in the other, a folded towel. Her eyes are thoughtful, not tired, just curious. Something has changed, and today, she's listening closely to her body. There comes a time in life when the world slows down, just enough for us to start hearing what we once ignored. Not voices from outside, but something quieter. Something inside. This story isn't just about age or routine, it's about noticing what matters. When everything else starts to fade, a memory returns as she walks to the bathroom. Her thoughts drift back to childhood, back to her mother brushing her hair after a warm soak. That was decades ago. Yet the scent of lavender soap and the feel of a cotton towel still linger like yesterday. We carry more than years on our shoulders. We carry the small rituals, the quiet comforts, the invisible hands that made us feel safe. And today, she wonders, how much of those old comforts do we still need? How much should we change, and how much should we hold on to? The science of skin and time in the quiet steam of the mirror, something becomes clear. Her skin isn't what it used to be. It feels thinner now, more sensitive. Every touch, every drop of water leaves a stronger impression than before. Time isn't always loud. Sometimes, it whispers through the body, through the way your arms itch after a rinse, or how your hands feel rougher even though you've done less. The outer layer, once plump and elastic, now needs gentler care. Not less care, just smarter care, thoughtful care. The world teaches us more, faster, stronger. But as the years go by, gentler becomes wiser. The weight of habits, she looks at the faucet, her hand hovering near the handle. A daily ritual, as predictable as sunrise. But something stops her. Not hesitation. Awareness. Routines are powerful, but not all routines are meant to last forever. Sometimes, what used to energize now exhausts. What used to soothe now stings. And what used to be automatic now deserves a second thought. This isn't about neglect. It's about evolution, about listening instead of assuming. Wisdom in the small details. She picks up a clean washcloth, fills a small basin with warm water, just enough, dips it in, ring wipe. Her movements are slow, deliberate, focused on what actually matters. We forget that care doesn't always require excess. Sometimes, the smallest effort, when done with attention, brings the deepest results. The body speaks in textures, in goosebumps, in comfort. And when we truly pay attention, we discover that care can be powerful, even when it's simple. Listening to your skin later that afternoon, she reads, on the porch. A breeze touches her cheek, and she notices. No itch, no sting, just calm skin, fresh and protected. The towel she used earlier still hangs on the line, drying in the sun. Our bodies don't ask for perfection, they ask to be noticed. That tight feeling you've come to ignore. That redness you thought was normal. It's the body whispering, not yelling. Saying, thank you for listening. And when you start listening, everything changes. The myth of more is better. She remembers a time when everything was about more. More cleaning, more scrubbing, more products, more steps. But now, she's not convinced. We've been taught that more is always better. But wisdom teaches us that enough is often just right. When did moderation become old-fashioned? When did simplicity lose its power? It didn't. It just got drowned in noise. What the experts say softly, she watches a quiet video from a well-spoken doctor. Not a commercial, not a scare tactic. Just information, gently shared. And the message is clear. As we age, our skin produces less oil. It becomes more fragile. And while cleanliness remains essential, the way we approach it must evolve. It's not about doing less. It's about doing better. Smarter, kinder, comfort, confidence, and control. She walks past the mirror. Later that evening, glances at herself. Hair tied loosely. Skin soft. No dryness, no redness. She smiles. There's a different kind of confidence that comes with age. Not the loud kind. Not the kind that demands attention. But the kind that knows what works and what doesn't. Comfort isn't laziness. It's intelligence. Confidence isn't noise. It's self-awareness and control. That's when you stop living by old expectations and start living by your own truth. Reflection in the stillness. The day ends with quiet. She sits beside her window. The sun dips behind the trees. A soft breeze carries the scent of earth and memory. Her hands are clean. Her heart even cleaner. Not everything in life needs to be big to matter. Sometimes, the smallest changes are the ones that set us free. In this moment, she feels something more powerful than youth. Peace. The kind of peace that only comes when you stop doing things out of habit and start doing them out of wisdom. The beauty of rituals that serve you. She lights a small candle near her bedside. The flame dances gently. Next to it, a bottle of lavender oil rests beside a folded cotton cloth. Her hands move with familiarity, but not out of habit, out of choice. Not every ritual must be kept, but the ones that nourish your spirit and body. Those are sacred. The old routines used to be about performance, now it's about peace. The act is no longer about what others expect, it's about what she feels is right. Some things are worth reimagining. Some things are worth keeping. The key is knowing the difference. When silence teaches more than noise later that night, the house is still. No phones, no television, no visitors. Just the creaking of old wood and the hush of night. She sits still in the silence, and it speaks to her. In silence, we hear what years of busyness drowned out our own intuition. The world always had an answer, a rule, a frequency, a routine, but none of that came from inside. Now she listens to the rhythm of her own body, and it's saying something different. Generations, and their lessons her granddaughter visits the next morning. A child, all energy and laughter. "Why do you do that, Grandma?" she asks, curious. "Why not do it like Mom does?" She smiles. We are walking bridges between generations, carriers of wisdom, keepers of nuance. The young often want to do more, go faster, try harder, but they don't yet understand the gentle wisdom of restraint, of letting go. The older you get, the more you learn that real care isn't always in the effort, it's in the understanding. Choosing what makes you feel alive. She's in the garden now. Kneeling on the soft ground, she trims the edges of her basil plant. The morning sun warms her skin, not too hot, not too cold, just right. Every act of attention we give to ourselves is an act of preservation. Not of youth, but of dignity, of comfort, of self-worth. Don't need to do everything. You just need to do what feeds your spirit and keeps your body feeling alive, without draining it. And that balance, that's where the magic is. Redefining clean. What really matters? She opens her linen closet. Fresh towels, clean sheets, everything in its place. Yet she's not obsessed with order. She simply appreciates ease. Clean doesn't have to mean stripped. It can mean balanced, it can mean cared for. We've spent years chasing external perfection, but now she's more interested in internal harmony. Clean, to her, means comfort. Calm. Clarity, not chemicals, not extremes. A question of seasons. It's winter now. The air is dry, the floors are cold. Her skin is more sensitive than usual, but she knows what to do. Not because a manual told her, but because her experience did. As seasons change, so should we. What served us in July may not serve us in January. She warms a cloth before using it. She adds moisture before dryness appears. She listens to her joints, her skin, her breath, and responds with kindness. A wise response is always seasonal, always aware, always evolving. The gentle art of less. Her neighbor tells her, "I still do everything the same way I did at 50. She nods, politely, but inside, she smiles. The goal is not to stay the same. The goal is to evolve with grace. Less isn't weakness, it's precision. It's understanding where energy is best spent. It's choosing ease over tradition when ease is wiser. She's not doing less because she can't. She's doing less because she knows better. When time slows, you speed up in wisdom. At 73, time moves differently. The days feel longer, the tasks feel slower, but her thoughts are sharper, her insights more profound. Time stretches, and within that stretch is a gift, the gift of clarity. She no longer rushes through things. Instead, she moves with rhythm, with presence. Every step is intentional, every choice considered, and with that comes power. Power not from force, but from flow. The touch of water, the touch of care. She runs warm water into a small bowl. It swirls gently. She dips a soft towel and brings it to her face. No soap, no scrubbing, just a tender pat and a deep breath. There's something sacred about water when used gently, with reverence. It's not about washing away. It's about restoring, about reconnecting to a body that has carried you through wars, joys, storms, and sunrises. And in that touch of water is a silent thank you to the vessel that's brought her this far. The power of saying this is enough. The hardest part of life isn't letting go of things. It's letting go of the need to prove you're doing enough. True peace comes not when we do more, but when we realize that enough is enough. She no longer measures her day by checkboxes. She measures it by how calm her body feels, how kind she was to herself, how warm her heart remained. And for her, that's more than enough. Healing happens in the gaps. She sits by the window after a light breakfast, a cup of warm tea in her hands, steam rising like a soft cloud. She isn't rushing. There's no agenda, just being. Sometimes, healing doesn't happen when we do more. It happens when we finally stop and breathe. It's in the pauses, in the quiet sighs between effort, in the tiny moments when we allow stillness. Her body doesn't always need action. Sometimes, it needs acknowledgement. And death. That is its own kind of medicine. Your body doesn't lie later. While folding clothes, she notices something. Her skin isn't as irritated. Her back doesn't itch the way it used to. Her hands feel smooth. There's no flaking. She didn't change the world. She changed how she moved through it. Our bodies don't speak in words. They speak in sensations. Tightness is a message. So is calm. So is the absence of discomfort. When we listen to those signals, even the simplest shifts become profound choices. And when something feels better, you don't need permission to trust that. Community, conversation, and quiet confidence. Her friend comes over for tea. They sit by the fireplace, wrapped in soft shawls. No small talk, no need to impress, just presence. Just REALNESS. They exchange gentle smiles. And then she says, "You look more at ease." What changed? There's a power in quiet confidence. In doing what works for you, even if it goes against what's expected. She doesn't explain everything. She just says, "I stopped doing what I thought I should and started doing what felt right." That's more than enough. The energy you keep, she notices how her energy flows more freely now. There's less stress, fewer unnecessary routines. Her mornings feel more spacious. Her nights are more restful. When we stop draining energy in places that don't serve us, we begin to store it in the places that do. The point is never to become rigid or inactive. It's to use your effort wisely, sparingly, precisely, like a sculptor, not a machine. That's when the body rewards you, not with strength, but with sustainability. Seasons of the soul. Some days, she still does things the old way, out of nostalgia, habit, muscle memory. But most days, she lets the new wisdom guide her. The inner compass, quieter, but sharper. Growth isn't always about abandoning the past. Sometimes, it's about integrating it gently into something more sustainable. This season of life isn't about rushing, fixing, or achieving. It's about honoring what's left, what's soft, what matters. And that too is an accomplishment. Embracing the beauty of being slow. Afternoon, she takes a long walk. Not far, just enough to feel the wind. She stops to admire the clouds, a bird's call, the way a leaf dances on the breeze. Being slow isn't a flaw. It's a form of devotion. It's how the soul catches up with the body. She no longer feels guilty for not doing enough, because now she knows noticing is its own form of living. And choosing softness is not giving up, it's waking up. The sacredness of simple touch back home. She washes her hands with warm water, slowly, tenderly. She dries them with care. No rush, just attention. She touches her arms gently, applying a soft cream with circular motions, as if each stroke were a blessing. Our relationship with ourselves deepens when we treat touch as something sacred, not mechanical. That moment with herself. That is love, not vanity, not duty, but reverence. That the older you get, the more you realize this body deserves to be cherished, not just used. The ritual of renewal. Evening comes. She lights the same candle she lit days ago, a quiet signal that the day is ending, that restoration begins. No fanfare, no checklist, just calm, just care. She feels clean, in the truest sense, not scrubbed, but restored. True renewal doesn't come from how often we clean, but how intentionally we restore. Every gesture tonight is deliberate. From the soft robe she chooses, to the lavender oil she breathes in, to the gratitude she feels for this version of herself. She is no longer chasing standards. She is living by intuition, a life designed for comfort. She thinks about the old days, the schedules, the urgency, the feeling of always being behind. But not anymore. Her life now is designed for comfort, for ease, for longevity. When we design our lives around what truly feels good, not just what looks good, we begin to bloom again, not in the way we used to, not with speed or force, but with grace, with thoughtfulness, with warmth. She is blooming still, in quiet ways the world may never notice. But she does, and that's enough. The final thought. You are the expert of your own experience. The final scene is simple. She's looking in the mirror, not judging, not comparing, just seeing. Seeing the softness in her eyes, the wisdom in her skin, the calm in her chest. You don't need anyone to tell you what's right for you. You've earned that knowing. The routines you keep, the ones you leave behind, the choices you make in stillness. That's your wisdom, yours alone. And that, more than anything else, is the most powerful truth of all. Greater than in this chapter of life. It's not about how much you do, it's about how deeply you feel. It's not about keeping up, it's about choosing what supports your peace, and it's not about following old rules, but writing new ones that honor your body, your energy, and your spirit.